Hello, I'm Brenda Lyttle, independent candidate for the Wyoming State Legislature, House District 8. And I am here this morning in the Laramie County Community College Student Lounge in the College Community Center because I wanted to share with you some experiences that I've had at LCCC. I've been a trustee on the LCCC Board of Trustees for almost 16 years now. I can't believe it. It's been one of the most fulfilling and interesting, fascinating learning experiences of my life. But now it's time for me to move on, and I'm running for the legislature. But part of the great experiences that I've had at LCCC is getting to meet the faculty and staff and students out here at Laramie County Community College. One student that I met, what would you say, Chelsea, a couple years ago? Probably 2 years ago, was Chelsea Davis-Hearn. And I met Chelsea when she was campaigning as Student of the Year for Phi Beta Kappa. Is that correct?
Phi Beta Kappa.
For Phi Beta Kappa. And I got to know Chelsea then and was so impressed with how talented she is and how bright she is and what her education at LCCC has meant to her and her children and her family. And so as part of my vision statement for Wyoming is we tell our stories to gain understanding. I wanted my first story to be Chelsea and her experience at LCCC. So please let me introduce a very impressive young woman, Chelsea Davis-Hearn, and I would like for her to tell you her story of education.
Well, thank you, Brenda, for having me, first off. And it's an honor and a privilege to be here with you and talk about my education here at Laramie County Community College. I want to first start by talking about, I had already been in the workplace. I actually was a teenage mom, and so I was in the workplace before I actually started my educational journey, and I had a lot of experience in different positions, great work career, and one of those positions I was a marketing associate for an insurance company, and in order to do that, I had to take my insurance exam. And most people don't, or I should say many people don't pass that until after a lot of studying for that. And I studied for 2 weeks and passed it on my first try. And so that made me realize and feel that I really should go to school. One of the reasons I had not gone to school is because I was afraid my intelligence didn't grow with me. And all that I had done. It's kind of crazy how you work against yourself sometimes mentally. And so doing that gave me the confidence to feel like I could really go to school and get an education like I'd always wanted to do. I was 11th in my class my senior year whenever I ended up having my first child. And so I had to eventually get my GED at that point. And so giving up my education actually was a sacrifice that I wasn't prepared for, but I put motherhood first. So passing that test, that exam, that insurance exam really motivated me, I should just go to school. And I was too afraid to go to university. And I literally live about 5 miles from Laramie County Community College. So one day I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to go enroll and I'm just going to do this. And I did. I didn't have any scholarships it was just directly out of my pocket at that time, and came to this wonderful place, met a lot of amazing instructors. I really hit my stride my first semester here. I think I was a full-time student. I was also working full-time and a mom of 2 high schoolers, 1 little one. And I just found a community at Laramie County Community College that, I just really found a community that I felt comfortable with. It was just like an extra family for me. And as I continued to get A's in my courses, continued to get more involved, one of the involvements that I became was in Phi Theta Kappa. So after my second semester, I believe, I was invited to be part of Phi Theta Kappa because you have to have a certain grade point average and a certain amount of credit hours underneath your belt before you're invited. And so I ended up joining Phi Theta Kappa, found another community within this community that I felt like was a family. And I really started to watch myself transform. And so you talk about how education really makes a difference. I mean, just in one individual life. One thing I learned my first semester here was in actually economics of all things, which was a very difficult course. But one thing my instructor taught us was that every decision we have has a positive or negative externality. And every action that we do, and education in my life has really shown to have a positive externality. And what that is that it affects people outside of me in a positive way. And so in my specific situation, I'm a first generation college student. And I really wanted to, all I ever set my sights for was just to get an associate's degree. I just wanted to get a degree so that I could show my high schoolers what it would take for them to get a degree. Because if somebody didn't pay that way, then I was afraid they weren't going to travel down that journey. And but it began to change me internally in a lot of different ways. So I am studying for psychology right now, and I started really understanding myself, started making sense of my childhood, things that had happened to me that I didn't want to repeat, started having more compassion for my parents who had made some mistakes, started talking to my family members about my education, sharing with them what I was learning in my psychology classes and my economics classes. I started meeting a bunch of people that I hadn't met in my life. You know, when you're raised and you kind of believe what your parents teach you to believe. And, you know, being in the workplace, you do gain some experience of other people and their situation. So part of that learning internally and internalizing all of the courses and the people that I was meeting here at Laramie County Community College was the diversity that I was experiencing. So I only knew what I knew when I first came to this college, and then I started to hear other people's experiences, and honestly became my favorite part of being in school was hearing other people and their situations. And it was different from mine, and there was some disagreement, some conflict, not confrontation, but some conflict, and it created some internal conflict within myself also, that my experience didn't highlight everyone's experience, and their experiences actually broadened my horizon. So I would go home and I would share those experiences with my family in my home, and my family, my external family, my mom, my siblings, and I really felt how it became a positive externality because I started to see my mom grow, and my sister grow, and my sister go to college. Matter of fact, she will get her bachelor's degree before I will, because she's able to go at a faster pace than myself. You know, seeing the people around me become more educated just because of a simple choice of me choosing to become educated. I got my first associate's degree here at LCCC. I ended up running for international office with Phi Theta Kappa, which you helped me with, my speech, which was so awesome. My campaign was Bloom Where You're Planted, and I just think that completely talks about my educational experience and my life experience, that you may not always be able to do everything, but you can do something at every step where you're at to make a difference. And then I became a nominee for LCCC Student of the Year. Like, all of these things that I just never imagined would be a part of my history, or my story, I guess. I got my second associate's degree at Laramie County Community College. I was afraid to go to university. I was just like, I don't know, inside my head about it. And finally it was like, okay, you've just about taken all the courses that you can here. I loved all my instructors, and so then I was like, okay, I guess I better venture on. So I'm now a student at the University of Wyoming. I'm 9 courses away from my bachelor's degree in psychology. I'm already working in my job field, which is awesome. I'm a coordinator for a financial program. but I can really trace every great thing in my life right now back to my educational experience and just taking that first step and coming to our community college. One of the things that really made my educational experience positive is the affordability of Wyoming's education. You know, I'm originally from Texas, and our educational system there was substantially more expensive. And I love how Wyoming prides itself on affordable education. Like I said, my first semester here was out of my own personal pocket. I didn't have any scholarships or anything like that, but after my first semester here at Laramie County Community College, I was available and introduced to a plethora of scholarships, and my education was completely paid for from my first semester, or I guess my second semester on. And I cannot imagine how that would have impacted my education had I have had to pay for it all out of pocket. I don't know if I would have stayed the course. I don't know if I would have gotten that second associate's degree. Now at University of Wyoming, my education is out of pocket because I am a part-time student and I haven't found my niche there just yet for applying for scholarships. But having the availability of scholarships and the affordable tuition here in Wyoming really makes a difference. And I appreciate that that is something that is important to you, because it's very important to me also that everybody has the opportunity to gain an education, because just one person gaining that education gives an education to many, many more. So I thank you for that, Brenda.
Thank you, Chelsea. And thank you for sharing that story with us. I think Chelsea's story can show us the importance of education and making sure that education in Wyoming, both K-12 education and our community college system, are well funded, supported, and sustained. So thank you so much, Chelsea, for sharing your story with us. And I am so proud of you.
Thanks.
So thank you.
Thanks.